At Baller2223, you talked about OKC's seriousness earlier in the season. Now that they're in the finals, when did you notice they flipped the switch? I think as the season went on, you saw the interviews change. Like, the messaging in the interviews changed. But in saying that, I do think they still go about their business the same way. Like, it's not like, oh man, they made some huge change. Like, they go about their business how they go about their business. What works for you works for you. I personally still think it'd be incredible to see Shea in interviews by himself. I think it'll still do more for Shea's brand to see Shea in interviews by himself. But what works for you, the demeanor of your team works for you. When we were winning championships, if you came into one of our practices, the beginning of practice was like a circus. You got Steph throwing full court shots from one end, another guy throwing football passes to the complete opposite kitty corner across two courts to the opposite end of the floor. Guys kicking balls from half court, kicking the ball, trying to make it into the rim. If you came into those practices, like, you looking, you'd be like, there's no chance. That's a championship team. Look how they look. Once we get our business going, we're locked in. But then you might, like, we used to have this little bench, or not bench, it was kind of a table, like a training table on the side of the court. We go sit over there on the training table during practice. If you went on the court, they moved the training table one day. Like one year or one day we came into practice and the training table was gone. You would have thought, like, whatever the wildest thing you can think of happened, you would have thought that happened. Everybody in there going crazy, like, yo, where the table at? The next day the table was back. Like, it almost come off as a joke. Like I said, when we're about our business, we're about our business and we're locked in and we dialed in, we're getting our work done. But anything outside of music, blast, like, it's a joke. And so I said all that to say, what works for you works for you. There are some things that they do that I don't like, that as the leader of a team at this point in my career, I don't think I'd want our team doing that. But I also don't know the culture of that locker room. You know, I also don't know their culture. And so what works for you, and you got to go with that. I do think they have a great young leader in Shea.